The rain never asked who was poor, it just fell. On the edge of the city, in a broken wooden shelter near old train tracks, Panda Kai sat quietly, wearing his worn olive-green jacket. The wind moved through the cracks in the walls. Beside him, Cat Luna in her blue hoodie wrapped her arms around herself. Across the small room, Dog Max in his red shirt stared at the empty food box. They had nothing left, no money, no electricity, no promises, only each other. That night, the cold was different. Max stood up suddenly. "I'll find something," he said firmly. Kai grabbed his arm. "It's dangerous." But Max smiled. "So is giving up." He stepped into the storm. Hours passed. The wind grew stronger. Luna's voice trembled. What if he doesn't come back? Kai's heart hurt, not from fear, but from responsibility. "I'm going to find him." He stepped into the darkness. The streets were flooded. Trash moved through the water. Neon lights flickered. Kai searched everywhere, under bridges, near abandoned shops, calling Max's name. Finally, he heard a faint bark. Behind a collapsed warehouse, Kai ran. Max was trapped under a fallen metal frame, trying to protect a small injured puppy from the rain. "You came," Max whispered. "Of course I did." With shaking arms and burning muscles, Kai lifted the heavy metal enough for Max to crawl out. Luna arrived moments later holding a flashlight. Together, they pulled the puppy to safety. They were soaked, exhausted, but alive. The next morning changed everything. The puppy belonged to an elderly shop owner who had been searching all night. When he heard what they did, his eyes filled with tears. "You saved him in that storm?" He offered them work at his small repair shop. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't easy, but it was a beginning. Days turned into weeks. Kai fixed broken machines with careful hands. Luna managed customers with confidence. Max worked harder than anyone, never complaining. They were still tired, still healing, but no longer hopeless. Months later, the small repair shop became a successful business. A new sign hung outside. "Sunrise Repairs, built on courage." Kai stood outside in a clean jacket. Luna smiled proudly beside him. Max looked at the bright sky. They remembered the storm. They remembered the hunger. They remembered the cold nights. And they understood something powerful. Poverty tested them. Pain shaped them. Hard work strengthened them. Saving one life saved their own future. As the sun rose higher, Kai said softly, "Darkness never wins," when friends refuse to quit. And this time, the rain fell gently. But they were no longer afraid of storms, because they had already survived the worst one.